Hi, hello. Welcome to another episode of Isaiah's Newsstand. It's your host, Isaiah Edwards. The date is November the 5th, 2023. Hopefully, this episode finds you well, in good spirits, and high hopes. As for me, I'm doing pretty good. Let's see here. Yesterday, pretty good day, pretty chill day. Wound up going to a little like housewarming game day thing at a friend's house, so that was fun. It was nice. The food, which is gonna be the food corner, was it was a lot of chips and dip and some cookies, like chocolate chip cookies. So I was like, yeah, this is perfect. One dip was a buffalo and cheese dip, I should add, which was really yummy. Also, there was a chili dip that was also very good. So I was a hog in heaven. I really enjoyed myself. Let's see here. Is there anything else to really report for my Saturday? No. More or less the itinerary today is just chill. Hoping I'll have a better update next episode on the car situation, Cargate. It continues. But yeah, I'm in good spirits. I'm in a good place, at least currently. Hopefully, we keep it that way. Knock on wood. But yeah, hopefully you're having a good Sunday, fun day. And let me go ahead and take my start up, and then we'll get into some news. Oh, I probably did not muffle that at all. Oh well. Y'all know how it is. This is a kickback. All right. All right. Let's get into some news. From the Associated Press. The hostage situation at Hamburg airport ends with a man in custody and a 4-year-old daughter safe. The hostage situation at Hamburg airport ended Sunday afternoon, around 18 hours after a man drove his vehicle through the gates of the airport with his 4-year-old daughter inside, authorities said. The man was arrested and the girl appears to be unharmed. So that is good news. Excuse me. Let's go a little further here. Internet permits. The airport in the northern German city have been closed to passengers and the flights canceled since Saturday night when the man who was armed broke through an airport gate with his vehicle and fired twice into the air with a weapon, according to a German news agency DPA. The man drove the vehicle just outside a terminal building and parked it under a plane. I believe it was a Turkish Airlines plane that he was under. Unrelated, I'm assuming. He was a 35-year-old man, a Turkish citizen, or maybe it was related. I don't know. In his head, I don't know. His daughter inside the car after reportedly taking her by force from her mother in an ongoing custody battle. So my man was like, okay, I'm just gonna take our kid from you and, drive off. Maybe he had a plan of like, obviously, this is me doing some speculation. I'm gonna get on this plane. I'm gonna, well, obviously, negotiate with the cops. I'm gonna get on this plane, and my daughter and I are gonna flee away. I have no idea what delusions this man was going through. Apparently, though, this wasn't his first time allegedly kidnapping his daughter. He had a case, I believe, in March 2022 that was still pending from doing the same kind of thing. So obviously, it's very traumatic. That's very upsetting for the mother and the daughter, of course. But good that they are both okay and that this was ended without bloodshed. That was definitely when I initially covered this. I saw this in the morning. I woke up to the story initially, and then found out it's like, oh, okay, good, everyone's safe. So good to bring in some good news to start us off. And actually, I have some more good news from Al Jazeera. Guinea's escaped ex-military leader recaptured, back in jail, says lawyer. Guinea's former military government leader, Musa Dadis Camara, was recaptured and back in prison, his lawyer said, denying that the ex-leader had willingly participated in a jailbreak hours earlier and saying instead that he had been kidnapped by armed men. So I was like, that's an interesting angle that they're going to try to spin. And we covered this before the other day, so I really won't get too into the details about it. But I believe there was 4 other members, and I believe they've at least captured 2 other members. So that's good. Hopefully everyone gets recaptured and everything like that. But yeah, the angle I guess is that these soldiers, they did this of their own accord, and he was actually taken by force. He was kidnapped. And he actually believes in the process, Guinea's process of law, and he believes he's going to be exonerated. So he had nothing to do with this. I mean, personally, I hope that does not work because what this guy's alleged to have been a part of and participated or allowed is very fucked up and evil. So yeah, no, I mean, I kind of hope they just run the whole trial to the full extent here. But at the same time, it is a good legal strategy theory because you're saying, hey, these guys shot their way through the city, to get to me, shot up a whole ass fucking jail. What am I going to do in that moment? They get to my fucking jail cell and they say, all right, we got you, boss. Let's go. You're going to be like, no, I'm going to stay here and actually, have my day in court. Like, it's kind of a crazy... It's crazy either way, right? It's crazy to try to do this kind of thing, break someone out of jail, and expect to get away with it. And it's also be crazy to be like, yeah, in that moment, I'm going to trust the justice system. Like, they could just kill you for that. They already are putting their life on the line. So I guess maybe that angle does make sense. But yeah, like I said, stacked up to what this guy's alleged to have done, been a part of, very icky, very gross, very nasty. So yeah, I mean, there's obviously more details there. They also talk about the man who took over after Kamara. I'm sure I'm getting his name wrong on the pronunciation. Sorry about that. But yeah, if you'd like to read that, that is there for the Al Jazeera article. But let's go ahead and keep it rolling, keep it moving and grooving. From the Hill, booty patrol driver caught by Florida deputies. Man, I feel like it's been a while since we've done a Florida man story, so I doubled up on my dosage this week on this episode. Let's see. A booty patrol driver has been caught by Florida deputies. Earlier this week, the DeSoto County Sheriff Office warned the public about a driver allegedly impersonating law enforcement officers in a Chevy Silverado equipped with red and blue lights. So it's the picture I posted in the thumbnail, but it's like this like spearmint green and white truck, and it's got booty patrol on the side, and yeah, it's got on like the side lights, I guess you could say. I'm sure it has a name, but I'm a fucking pleb. And it's got the red and blue lights, and they're like, no, you can't do that. That's, I guess, an illegal thing. So that's already sus. And also, just thinking about it, I could see how this is very, like, not a good thing. Imagine this guy's pulling a fucking joke or a gif, whatever, gaff, and, pulls you over and is like, yeah, I'm the booty patrol. I bet you got a nice one. Let's check that wagon. Like, that'd be terrible. And also, what if this person has even more, nefarious ideas, whatever. So you can understand how this is a bad thing. It is impersonating an officer. You gotta boo this man a bit. So it was just a laughable thing to see it, and in a meme sense, like, that's funny as fuck. But I could definitely see how the implications could be very bad there. So glad that they got that. I think also he only got like a citation. Yeah, they said they issued the driver a citation for violating the Florida statute 316.2397, which pertains to certain lights being prohibited. And they say that in the article. So yeah, I mean, I guess justice is served there. If you're just going to drive around your booty patrol wagon, that's cool. I'm sure you're fine with just take the lights off. You know what I mean? So there you go. And once again, there is a Florida Man Part 2, and it is a bit darker. From Front Page News, or Front Page Detectives, which, I don't know, whatever. A Florida man paid an Uber driver $100 to drop him off at a hotel and wait. Then he returned after committing murder. A Florida man was sentenced to served life behind bars in connection with a fatal 2021 shooting in a hotel parking lot. On October 25th of 2021, Jamal Drummond, 23 years old, was found suffering a gunshot wound to the head in the parking lot of a West Palm Beach Holiday Inn, according to the Palm Beach Post. With the help of witnesses, video and audio recordings from the hotel, and testimony from an Uber driver, investigators were able to identify the gunman as a 29-year-old Claudio Valvidizzo Samoya. We're gonna go with Samoya there. Enzo Ramirez, the Uber driver, told authorities that Samoya paid him $100 to drop him off at the hotel and then wait for him across the street at a gas station. Ramirez said Samoya returned to the vehicle visibly upset around 15 minutes later. Ramirez noted Samoya was talking on the phone and crying, but the Uber driver speaks little to no English, so he didn't understand what he was saying. He just drove Samoya back to his home in Hollywood, the Post reported. Witnesses told police they were out smoking a cigarette with the victim, Drummond, when Samoya approached them. Samoya asked the witnesses if they had seen a young girl and showed them a picture of her that was on his phone. The witnesses said they hadn't seen the girl, and Samoya then started to peek into a nearby car. Drummond yelled at Samoya, who walked into the hotel and was seen on surveillance cameras wandering the building and talking to someone on the phone before exiting the premises, according to bystanders. Moments later, shots rang out and Drummond was killed. Now, apparently this wasn't the first trial. I guess after they couldn't find him guilty, like they had a hung jury, they did try to, give him a plea of manslaughter, and he didn't want that. He said, no, I'm going to keep fighting. In some way, I obviously get that logic. 15 years is not nothing, and you just had a hung jury. They didn't, seem to think that maybe you were the shooter or that there wasn't enough proof there. So you maybe say, hey, let's double up. Let's go for it. But he was found guilty and is now facing an automatic life sentence in prison. Now, I don't know about if there's a potential chance of parole or anything like that, but yeah, crazy situation. I could not imagine being that Uber driver, because there's no way you're not saying like, oh yeah, I'll stick around. Like, you're getting paid maybe the extra tip money there with $100. I'm not sure how much that would have been. I've never done an Uber driving. I've done Doordash, which we're gonna get to in the next thing, but yeah, that's good money. So all you have to do is sit and wait. Like, okay, fine, awesome, chill. And this guy comes back and he's just weirdly emotional. Like, I don't know, maybe he broke up with his girlfriend or something. Who knows? Whatever. I'm just the Uber driver. Let's just get to point A to point B. But next thing you know, shit, I was a driver in a murder. I was like, damn, that's crazy. I want to cover that. I want to talk about that. So, we got one more thing. I, dropped a little tease that it is about Doordash, my old job. I'm really so glad to say that's my old job. I really never want to go back to it. I mean, shit, I already have like a car that's already fucking, slutted out. Like, I can't really go back to the streets like that for real. But yeah, let me take my little break, and then we will, end this. All right. From WLWT5, though I'm sure you could find this on a bigger publication if you'd like. Tip your driver or pay the price. DoorDash warns delivery delays when happening with no tip. Oh, I guess this is kind of like how when I pull my Yahoo articles. This is from CNN, I guess, overall, I think. But anyway, thinking of skimping on a DoorDash tip, do so at your own risk, warns a message being tested by the food delivery provider. If you try to place an order through the Doordash app without leaving a tip, you might get this pop up. Orders with no tip might take longer to get delivered. Are you sure you want to continue? The note goes on. Dashers can pick and choose which orders they want to do. Orders that take longer to be accepted by Dashers tend to result in a slower delivery. In other words, tip your drivers or prepare to wait a long time for a cold meal. Customers are then given the option to add a tip or continue without one. Now, I know the conversations of tipping your Dashers and, the implications or ramifications of that have been, an ongoing discourse since, DoorDash, Uber Eats, Grubhub, all this shit's been a thing. So, this message just kind of like, calling it out, saying like, hey, this is a situation at hand. If you don't tip, don't be surprised that your order's going to take forever. And yeah, it turns out like it's a shittier experience because it's all cold and it's been waiting for a while. Because at the end of the day, the Dashers have always been able to see what they're going to make here, and they can do the math and go, oh, this isn't a good tipped order. Like beforehand, apparently the way it was set up is DoorDash was taking half of the tip, or at least some percentage of the tip, and then they got called out on that. So like, okay, we won't do that anymore. But instead, we'll leave more of the onus on paying the driver to the customer and the tip. So it's like you'll see an order for like, let's say McDonald's. I think that's the best example for this. And you'll see an order at McDonald's and it's like $2. And it's like, bro, what the fuck is this? I'm not gonna go to McDonald's. It's a fucking hellhole type place to pull an order from. And you're telling me I'm going to do all this plus drive here, there, and everywhere for a $2 order? No, thank you. Bye. And because what you can do is you can just kite the order. You can just say, hey, I'm going to let it sit. I'm going to let it rotate out and then wait for the next order. And DoorDash will be like, oh, are you still here? And you just go, yeah, I'm still here. And then you just continue on working. So, people aren't stupid. That was one of like the big 101 tips that like fellow DoorDashers were telling me when I first started working. Honestly, I'm glad they're calling it out because it's just a subtle way to say, hey, man, you got to give these people a reason to do it. But of course, I always get bummed about this. I mean, shit, the minimum wage in this kind of situation is like $2.13. Like that in and of itself is crazy that you already are forced to like live off of the gratuity of what, customers are going to give. Like to me, it should be very much inverted. The establishment should be paying more. But of course, DoorDash is going to fight shit like that tooth and nail. They refuse to give an actual good functioning minimum wage to people. They're going to fight that till their last goddamn day, it seems. I don't know. Like I said, I haven't DoorDashed in a while. I know I talked to my my biological mom, and she's like, yeah, it's still shitty. And I'm like, that's fucking bummer. But you got to do what you got to do. I totally get it. So yeah, tip your Dashers, okay? Tip your waiters. You gotta do that fucking shit, man. If it is a gratuity business, you gotta fucking do it. And maybe my international listeners are looking like, what? I don't get it. I don't understand. Well, your waiters and waitresses are hopefully getting paid, a better rate, a better wage. But in the States, yeah, we literally have to live off fucking gratuity. It's not fucking built in, you know what I mean? So yeah, if you're chilling at an Airbnb and you want to get your little fucking extra Taco Bell order, buyer beware. If you're not going to tip, it's probably going to be some cold tacos for you. I don't know what to tell you. But yeah, that's the episode. That's all I got for today. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thanks so much for being a friend. And hopefully I see you soon for some more good news. I love ya. Bye-bye. Mwah.